everybody? Welcome to my review of the iPhone 11 Pro. I want to start off by breaking it down into three different sections. First section is going to be battery, second section is going to be the software, and the third section is going to be the camera. So to start off, let's go ahead and review the battery. The battery on this phone is absolutely amazing. I've had the 10, the 10s, and now the 11 Pro, and there's not even a comparison. When it comes to battery life, the 11 Pro blows the 10s and the 10 out of the water completely. On my 10s, I was able to get maybe 4 or 5 hours of screen on time. On my 11 Pro, I can consistently get around 8 hours, 9 hours of screen on time. The battery in this thing is amazing. If you currently have a 10s or a 10 and you're on the fence about getting the 11 Pro and battery life is extremely important to you, I would say definitely upgrade. These are just a couple screenshots of full day usages where the phone at times was only starting off a charge of 80% for the day. This is a screenshot that I took on the very first day I received the phone. I believe the phone was charged at 82% when I got it. I literally did not put the phone down. I was playing with it. I was testing everything that I could test on it, and I managed to get 8 hours and 18 minutes of screen on time with an 82% charge. So the battery, I'm going to repeat myself again, the battery is definitely worth the upgrade alone in my opinion if you're coming from a 10 or a 10s. If you're coming from a 10R, the battery life on that phone was already pretty amazing. So I would say it's on par with the 10R or probably a little bit better. Another thing I've noticed about iOS 13 is the performance. It seems that apps open faster. It feels smoother. I don't know how to describe it because iOS is already pretty smooth. But when I'm running iOS 13 and running my iOS 12 device right next to it, the animations, the feeling just feels smoother, more polished. However, I have noticed that I do have a lot more force closing apps on iOS 13. Now, I'm on iOS 13.0. And that could be just because iOS 13.0 still needs some polishing. I know that iOS 13.1 is out, but if you're like me and love jailbreaking, I stay on the lowest possible firmware so that I have the highest chance of being able to jailbreak. Another neat feature about iOS 13 is wallpapers. Apple has added these new wallpapers that will dynamically change depending on if you are in light mode or dark mode. So right now I am in dark mode, and if I go ahead and toggle on light mode, then the wallpaper will also change to match the light mode. Now, something kind of cool that's specific to the Pro models is they have these additional wallpapers that do animate. So if you just hold on it, it will animate, and they are also custom set for light and dark mode. Now, supposedly Face ID is supposed to be faster on iOS 13 in general, and even faster on the 11 and 11 Pro series. And in my experience of having both the 10 and the 10s, I do see that Face ID does tend to be slightly faster on my 11 Pro than it does on my other devices. Now, I feel like it would be better if Face ID worked at more angles. For example, if I was watching a video or something and my phone locked, I'm looking at the phone right now and it is not unlocking. I have to do that awkward head tilt, or I have to turn the phone back up in order to get Face ID to work properly. Now let's move into the camera portion of the review. I gotta say, I did not think that there was going to be too much of a difference between my 10s and my 11 Pro. The camera difference, especially in low light settings, is night and day. I've been taking photos of dark areas with both of my devices, and both of them take decent photos, but when you compare them side by side, you can definitely tell that that night mode on the 11 Pro is absolutely amazing. This footage was shot on the iPhone 10, and this footage was shot on the iPhone 11 Pro. Now in this photo, you can completely see the difference between the iPhone 10 and the Pro. The iPhone 10 can't even show anything other than a black screen, whereas the Pro can show more light than what my eyes were able to pick up. The iPhone 11 Pro is rocking an A13 Bionic processor and 4 gigs of RAM. Now, compared to Android, 4 gigs of RAM really isn't a lot. But on iOS, Apple knows how to optimize the RAM extremely well. So 4 gigs of RAM on an iPhone is more like 8 gigs of RAM on an Android phone. The 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max have also gotten slightly thicker, slightly more heavy, but that's completely fine with me because it was all to make room for that humongous battery. They also did have to get rid of 3D touch, so now you'll just have to do that taptic touch, which it's not as good as 3D touch, but I would definitely sacrifice my 3D touch to get improved battery life. Another pretty cool feature about the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max is the IP68 certification. It's not your standard 2 meter 68 certification, it's 4 meters. So that means you can take your phone roughly about 12 feet underwater and it should still work properly. Now, Apple doesn't cover your device if you do have water damage, so if you want to test that, that's on you. Bye, AppleCare. Hey guys, sorry for interrupting the review. I just wanted to make an announcement that I am giving away one pair of 2nd gen AirPods, as I'm sure you saw in the title. All you have to do is follow the link in the description. You can get entries by following me on Twitter, on Instagram, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The bigger my channel gets, the more things I'll be able to give away. But as for right now, I can only afford giving away one pair of 2nd gen AirPods. So make sure you like the video, subscribe, and follow the link to be entered. Oh yeah, one more thing. Make sure you head over to Spotify, SoundCloud, or Amazon Music and check out Beastman. Huge shout out to him for letting me use his music during this video, and he would sound excellent in your brand new AirPods. Thanks, Beastman. Alright guys, pretty much in conclusion, it's an iPhone. iPhones all run the same, they all kind of look the same, they all kind of do the same things, unless you're jailbroken, which is one of the reasons why I jailbreak. However, I feel like the iPhone 11 Pro is definitely worth an upgrade because number one, the battery, number two, the camera. Those two have been improved so much within the last year that I could justify buying the Pro series. I was going to hold out until the 2020 iPhones came out because there's supposed to be a new redesign, possibly getting rid of the notch, possibly putting Touch ID under the screen so that you could just tap your fingerprint anywhere on the screen and it would authenticate. Maybe an improved Face ID with multiple angles. So that was my plan. That plan kind of went out the window once I saw the battery improvements and the camera improvements. I'm still planning to get the 2020 iPhones next year, but in the meantime, I am perfectly happy with the iPhone 11 Pro.